and that's what he wants and thinks he deserves. Yeah, so I see that being a not perfect note, but I would really want to see Manwë trying to give him a sincere compliment, and he doesn't necessarily get why MacLeod built himself a giant hall, but he's like, it's nice. Good job.
I feel like
and at that point, do you want to cut away, or did you want to actually start the conversation?
Move to everybody's favorite part of this episode.
Okay.
I feel like this could definitely be done without it being awkward. Like, it's not that bad. Okay, but let's work on that, shall we?
Okay.
First thing, do we start with them? Do we open that with them already in Middle Earth running around? Or does one of them come up with this awesome idea of having this awesome adventure back in Middle Earth?
You know, do we really want to... How do we even cut from the actual whole point of the story to like a completely incidental, hey guys,
so they got to be there.
Fun. Like, yeah, or even, I mean, maybe, I don't know how much of this stuff we want to tie together, but let's say we wanted to tie all of our storylines together in the beginning. Yeah, we get to start everyone off in Valinor, and everyone talks to everyone, and it just kind of organically turns into this. So, yeah. Meaning that, like, Orome is standing there when Ole is like, I'm going to go with Manwë to try to talk some sense into Melkor. And Orome's
actually, you know what? I have a better idea. I have something else we can do. And then cut from them, and then we go, then we're back, we're in, Autumno, arriving in Autumno. I like that.
Yeah. Right, so I'm just saying, if we have a setup, if all the Valinor setup happens in Valinor in the beginning, that's probably better than trying to do a Valinor setup right in the middle of our so that way when we cut to them roaming through the woods of Middle Earth,
it also kind of gives Orome a moment of like, oh, no, we don't want you. No. No, there's no way. You're our diplomatic envoy. I have a better idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we can, because, I mean, there's no reason not to, right? And just to spend a little bit more time on build-up. I know some TV shows and movies spend way too much time on their build-up.
Well, this is like,
and so I don't want to necessarily front-load everything, but at the same
like
time,
if they're there when Manwë propositions Ale about this, and then Irmo's like, I've got a perfect guy to send with you, and Telkus is like, hey, I'll go too, and Orome's like, actually, I have a better idea. You'll like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if all the Valar are now in our initial conversation, because we've already had Nienna and Yavanna set off separate, so they shouldn't be part of this at all. And we've had Manwë and Varda have their private conversation. But should the next conversation really be a very large group of them, and Manwë's explaining what he's going to do, and be like, I'm going to get some people, and we're going to go over
story purposes? No. We have Manwë,
so
we have Ale, we have Irmo, we have Telkus, we have Orome. And we get a little comedy. We don't get a lot of that.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yes, but I think that's good. I think Orome should have enough sense to immediately recognize that Telkus is not the guy you send.
Orome.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was my first thought, is that Orome is, let's talk some sense. Like,
Orome knows who he is. He knows what he's there for. Like, Orome, like, Telkus might still have some illusions that he would be a fantastic diplomat.
Right. Yes, which is why I know that there are certain people who are really, really set on the Rock as Tulkas. I'm like, there are so many opportunities for comedy with Tulkas, and Chris Hemsworth's Thor is kind of everything I always go to. There have been some moments over the
like I've been a really big proponent of the Rock as Tulkas, but there have been some arguments that people have made that have been like, ooh, Chris Hemsworth would be a fantastic Tulkas. He really would. I don't know, but I don't feel that. I don't necessarily feel that The Rock couldn't pull those moments off.
Right. It's just that I know that that's what I'm thinking of. I'm actually thinking of Thor being a goofy idiot. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what Tulkas is. I really obviously don't care who we cast because I realize
the casting of this would be
but that's in my mind. Is what's going
so beyond impossibly difficult logistically. Like, you have to have characters show up that are the same characters that were there 15 years ago. They have to look exactly the same.
I mean, it was bad enough trying to bring people back for the Hobbit,
and they did okay. It wasn't,
Elrond, Galadriel.
Ian Holmes did not age as
but
well
as
Ian McKellen. I can tell you that much. Yeah, but he's like.
Well, I think he's older, isn't he?
Right.
Yeah, when you're older to start, it makes it hard. I mean, they got Christopher Lee filming the scenes well before the production actually happened because they were afraid he was.
Yeah, they almost didn't.
They didn't know how long he was going to last. He was 92. I mean,
poor guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So we cut.
Okay, from Manwë and Melkor talking to Orome and Tulkas going through the woods, discussing what Manwë's up to. So there's a transition. And I would say Orome and Tulkas are not like on board with this whole diplomacy thing. They're more like, so why don't we just take the guy and they should have that conversation.
I mean, I think that Orome kind of sees what he's trying to do. He doesn't necessarily agree with it, but he kind of sees where he's coming from.
Yes, and I feel like in trying to explain to Tulkas what's going on, he might be like, "Yeah, I can accept that. That's something leaders have to do. Because I'm not a leader."
Maybe Tulkas could ask him, "What? Oh my gosh!" Like maybe Tulkas can ask him, "Well, what would you do?"
Mm-hmm.
And Orome just kind of looks at him, like gives him a dark look, like you don't want to know.
Ooh, or there's a reason such things are not left to
Orome would just kill him. Is what would happen there.
Right, and it's like kill the Avala. That's an interesting idea. Yeah. Okay. What do you know?
So they're kind of just wandering through the woods. I don't know if the decision has been made to have Nahor there or not. But are you there? Your audio is kind of. Yeah, we're having an audio moment. Are we back? Oh no, you're fine. I think we're.
All right, I'll refresh.
I think it passed. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, no, we're good. All right. So we have them wander. Do we has it been decided that Nahor's available at this point yet, or no?
Yes, I think the idea was after we get to Valinor,
the way we see
he
them
has his horse and his hounds.
In the new Everything is Awesome shot.
Maybe yes. Maybe that was an important point at the beginning of it. Well, no. I was like, maybe we needed to make sure that was part of the voiceover. Even I don't know what Elrond's explaining, and they've established themselves in Valinor and have a new home. Seeing him with his hounds running across plains or woods or something.
So
a good idea.
We have them wandering around. They're having this conversation. There's that moment, and how do we introduce our monster of the week? Do you have a thought?
Well, let's figure out what the monster is.
No. It's clearly
it's not a giant spider, right?
It's a monster of tooth and ivory.
Right. So, a very large beast of some sort.
I think so. Like, okay. How large are we talking about? How large does this thing need to be? Right. So
bigger than that.
If they
right?
Well, yeah.
And they're
let's assume. Let's assume that so it's got to be something that's like double their height for it to even seem like a viable threat, right? And we saw Tolka's chuck half a mountain some episodes ago. I have thought of a way to make that work. By the way, I'm going to I'm going to horribly draw something at some point and post it, but there is a way to make it work where it doesn't look absurd. But it's got. I mean, clearly, it's got to be something that's much larger than the two of them. And there we decided are what 12 feet. Yeah,
something like so. Yeah, so. But it doesn't really matter. It's a human-sized person.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is trying to figure out if there is like a natural beast that already exists that we can share.
Okay, and probably not. It's probably nothing that survived the extinction of dinosaurs.
That's where I'm getting with this. Is I mean, like a dinosaur does kind of fill the bill, and it's not a dragon.
Okay, so we can do a dinosaur or other kind of prehistoric creature.
Yeah, but
like the prehistoric mammals like giant bears and such.
A giant bear, the short-nosed bear, which is kind of the epitome of giant bears, is a threat to me. I don't think it's necessarily a threat to Tulkas.
Right. Okay, I see where you're going with that. So something with more razor sharp.
If it were,
is probably good.
If it were like a 50-foot long saber-toothed tiger, I'd buy it. But I don't know that I could buy a 50-foot long saber-toothed tiger, is the problem.
Exactly. Whereas if you make it a giant T-Rex type of thing, everyone's going to believe that that's that size because we all know T-Rexes are huge. Okay. So
Godzilla.
A giant monstrous dinosaur thing. Okay, whatever. Some cross between a dinosaur and Godzilla, whatever. I wanted to know because we said, how do we find out the thing is here? It depends. Like,
or do we get the Jurassic Park
and start barking at something? Yeah, exactly. I was like, because there's different ways you can introduce, and if it's big enough, you don't need to rely on your house to know that there's something here.
Okay. And
so I like the idea of tremors.
So
tremors
maybe
wonderful.
Because I feel like Orome kind of knows that stuff has been up, right? So maybe Tulkas turns to Orome and says, "What was that?" And Orome kind of grins at him, is like, "That's why we're here."
Right. Yeah, and I feel like Orome should have a few opportunities to say things about how it's important to know what's going on in Middle Earth. Like just because we're in Valinor now doesn't mean this doesn't matter. You know, he's someone who cares about this, so he should be saying like, "Oh, I come here often," or something along the lines. It's very clear that he knows what's going on here.
Right.
because he comes here all the time, apparently. Hulkus is like, I haven't been here since we left Almarin. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, he's a little bit more out of his element because
right.
he doesn't have a reason to go.
And so, do we have this thing like burst out of the bushes at them before we cut away, or do we want to leave it there?
I'm okay with.
Yeah,
that's why we're here. Cut.
I like it because it gives a little bit of levity. Like it's not a bad thing to have. Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have R2D2 and C3PO in your movie. It's not a bad thing. As long as R2D2 can't fly.
Right. You just have to. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, again, as long as they're used appropriately. So back to the throne room. Are we going to go to the Maiar now?
So maybe we see Aule wandering off, like looking around. Oh. Yeah. Poking stuff. Maybe with his hammer, he kind of pokes something. Yeah. Like, that's
taps a few things.
Yeah.
Just to...
And we cut to the three of them.
Okay.
Right.
So they're standing in front of Melkor's
So now, what are we saying here? Because, all right, maybe Kuromo at this point doesn't even understand why they're even here.
Right, because all it's just like, I'm bringing my people. He didn't necessarily.
So, like, I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, he may not even get why Banway even bothered.
Right. Yes, because he saw what happened the last time, and he's like,
Myron is on board with coming out here. Right.
Right. He tried to bring Melkor back after the Lance. He thought he did his job and got Melkor back, and then this happened. He still thinks they're trying.
And I feel like Aloran is pretty much on the same page with Manway. Aloran is kind of Manway's representative in this conversation because Manway's not there.
Yes. Right.
So what are we saying? What's their point here? I mean, I feel like the opening line can easily go to Kuromo. He can be the one to open up.
Mm-hmm. If he's the one who's why are we here?
Like,
then he's going to say
understand why we're doing this. Clearly, Melkor wants nothing to do with any of us. Right.
That nothing good will come of this. Yeah. Which allows the other two to respond to that. I would think Myron would be more of the, well, don't be so certain. We'll see how this plays out. But there's hope here. There's opportunities here.
Yeah.
Opportunity is probably better.
Well, and also I feel like Myron may still think that they kind of need Melkor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what his argument was the last episode. So he's like, no. We need to try and do this. And now it's Aloran's turn to step in.
Maybe Myron's position when he kind of comes to Kuromo is that all the awesome things that we did, that was because of Myron. And maybe Aloran kind of steps in at this point and is like, but were they, or were they people working together? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's got to have something to come back at him with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that Kuromo can express the why are we here. Myron is because we need Melkor, we need to try our best at this. And then Aloran can be like, no, we're here for Melkor's own sake.
That's perfect. Yeah, you're right.
This is an opportunity for him. Because Myron is like, we need him. We need to get him on our team. And it's like, and Aloran's like, no, you don't know. We're here for his sake.